It'll be right between the eyes.
Gimmicks, setups, techs, and everything cool. It's time to level up. Lovely with Razor.
Hello guys, Smooth here. Today I'm talking about console advantage, and I'm sure some of you already know this, but this is going to be an in-depth explanation. So first of all, why I feel this topic is important is going to help you have a better defense, know when you can like strike out of opponent's gaps and stuff like that, and how much frames you have to work with while being pressured by a string or a button to a special. It's also going to help you have a better offense. And lastly, it's going to help you know why certain stuffs jail, like certain specials that are high jail on your block of some strings and others do not. So now, first of all, what is cancel advantage? Cancel advantage is the amount of frames that a button or a string gives you to cancel into a special, just as the name says, cancel advantage. So how much advantage you have to cancel with? You get what I'm trying to say? So now her standard 2 has a cancel advantage of 16, meaning that any special 16 or below is gonna be a perfect jail on the opponent block, and they would not be able to release block for any reason because it's a jail. So now this 16, I'll explain it now with cancel advantage on hits. That's the best way for you to explain it. For instance, I have a standing 1. As you can see down below in the frame data section, the standing 1 is 17 frame cancel advantage, meaning I have 17 frames to cancel into a special. It's going to be a combo. So any special 17 or below is going to combo, and let's try her straight blood shots. So now you understand why certain stuffs combo and other do not combo. It's not just random luck, it's because of the cancel advantage the string or special gives you that you're cancelling off. So 21 frame move, while we have a cancel advantage of 17, it's not going to combo because the special, which is bloodshot, exceeds 17 frame by 4 frames. Then now let's try the blood splatter. Blood splatter is 16 frame, so we know that the 17 is going to cover 16, while we even have one extra frame to work with. So the standing 1 into the blood splatter gave me a combo, as you can see there. So that's how cancel advantage helps you really understand why certain stuffs combo and other do not. So for instance, if I'm fighting a Liu Kang player, he does something punishable that I can punish with my standing 1. There are different options I can go for, like this, and I can also do a reset like this if I don't want to use breaker, or like if I just want to keep him close, right? This is just +7 and they go back quite far for a punish. So now that I know that about cancel advantage, I could create a pressure like this because I know it combos. So now if I punish a Liu Kang, I can just do something like this and go in for a grab. Why I could create that stuff is not just by random dumb block, because I came in the lab, I know it's 17, I saw that I could combo with this. So knowing from cancel advantage like this will help you create like little better punishes. Get what I'm trying to say? Better like precious stuffs. So now I'm going to talk about cancel advantage on hits. On hits is the same thing. What it means on hits, this is 11 frames, right? So any special 11 frames and below, the opponent is going to be a jail. This one is about jailing, while on block is about being a combo. So now the opponent is not going to be able to move out of it if you cancel into something of 11 frames and below. So this into this 21 frame is a lot higher than 11. They will probably be able to poke you or something. This is 16. Scarlet do not have any special, I think, below 11. But now what this means now, this 11 into 16, there is a 5 frame gap, right? So now in MK11 the fastest pokes are usually 7 frames. So even a standing 1 into the blood splatter, the opponent has 5 frames to do what they want to do. But in this game, you can't get anything out really in 5 frames. Maybe a slight jump, but let's see. So now, so you know that no one can poke you out of this because they only have 5 frames to do something. You see, if they jump, they get clipped in the jumping animation. So you get what that means about cancel advantage on block is the amount of frames a string or a button gives you to go into a special. So that's how you calculate cancel advantage, to know how plus to know like how many frames the opponent has to interrupt you or not. So now now that I've explained that cancel advantage is the amount of frames a string or a button gives you to cancel into a special, I'll talk about how it can help you have a better offense, a better defense, and why some stuff with and why others do not. Now this is why it helps you to have a better offense and a better defense. Both of them go hand in hand with each other. So now the forward 2 straight shot, right? The forward 2 straight shot, the forward 2 gives us a cancel advantage. I'm just using Scarlet and Liu Kang as examples in this video. The forward 2 gives us a cancel advantage of 17 frames. So now me as a Scarlet player, I have labbed and I know what I can do and stuff like that. So this into this 17 into a 21 frame startup special, the opponent has 4 frames to do what they want, or if you count the active frames, let's say 5 frames to do what they want. Now 17 to 22 frames, right? That's the opponent have, yeah, right, 5 frames to do what they want. And because I'm cancelling into the blush, which is a high, they're just gonna use that 5 frames to duck below and punish, or use the 5 frame to let go of block a little bit and flawless block it. So as you can see, flawless blocking this is possible because I have 5 frames to move as Liu Kang because of what the cancel advantage is of the forward 2 into a higher move that gives me 5 frames to do what I want to do. So I can use that 5 frame to let go of block. That's why I say that covering both height helps your offense and defense go hand in hand, because right now I'm explaining how it's helped me as a Scarlet player to know what options are risky and which ones are safer, and on the defensive side of Liu Kang, it's going to help me know what I can duck, what I can interrupt and stuff like that. So now let's go ahead with the video. So now I'm going to use that 5 frames. I can use it to duck and go for a punish. I can use the flawless block, as you can see, and stuff like that. You get what I'm trying to say. So that is why that's possible. So when you see certain things happening, it's not just by random dumb block, it works with the frame and stuff like that. So now this into this doesn't jail because 17 cancel advantage into 21 is beyond 17 by 5 frames. That's 21 plus you count the active frame, so it's not going to jail. Now even a lot of people get clipped trying to duck this into this, because when they duck this into this, they feel they can always duck like all the single hits into the bloodshot, but that isn't always right, because it's just the only reason you can duck this into this is because the cancel advantage on the forward 2 isn't enough to carry a special that's 21 frame, but the back 3 on the other hand has a cancel advantage of 23 frames, meaning that any special 23 frames and below is going to be a jail and you can't do nothing about it. It doesn't matter if it's a high. You get what I'm trying to say. So now this being 23 frame into a 21 frame is a jail. So on the offensive side, I know that if the opponent duck likes ducking, right? Me as the offender or whatever, as the one attacking, is gonna do this to blow you up, because I know this is 23 frames cancel advantage into a high of 21 frames, meaning that it's a jail. So I know I'm gonna clip you and get some health back. So that's how this is gonna look. So now me as the if I am ignorant of that the cancel advantage on the back 3 is a lot different from the forward 2. If I'm just blindly ducking because I know that a button into bloodshot can be ducked, the Scarlet player, which knows more than me, is gonna get his health back. So now, even though these are both individual buttons into the same bloodshot, the back 3 bloodshot up close cannot be ducked, it cannot be interrupted, nothing, because let's see, because it's a perfect jail, right? Now I'll use another example. Let's use the tentacles. Now the forward 2 gives us 17, as I've said earlier, and the tentacle is 26 frame. So from 17 to 26 is 9 frames, right? So we know that forward 2 tentacle, I have 9 frames to do what I want to do because of the cancel advantage of the forward 2. So now that 9 frame, as a Scarlet player, I know very well the opponent has 9 frame between the forward to on the tentacle. That's how it helps me as the offense that is how it helps you at the offense. You know your options and what is risky and when to go for the safer ones and the riskier ones. While as the one defending, I know that if the opponent gets into the habit of swarming the forward to tentacle, there is a 9 frame gap. So that it's up to me to use. I could use the 9 frame gap to flawless, increasing the negative frames of the tentacle and allowing me to go for a punish. As you can see, also any move faster than 9 frame, I will just interrupt. It's gonna be an easy interruption. As you can see, just fight your way out of the pressure, because you know that cancel advantage on the forward to tentacle isn't enough to keep you blocking. So that's how it helps you as the one defending, but you're gonna know when to poke out of stuffs and how to get out of pressure. On the other hand, again, I come back to the back 3 tentacle. The back 3 tentacle, for instance, gives us 23 frames and this 26 frame. 26 assists 23 by 3 frames, meaning that I only have 3 frames to do something. And in this game, nothing comes out in 3 frames. I do not even think I can get a jump out. So the back 3 tentacle is a safe option for me as a Scarlet player to throw out without bothering about the opponent's flawless blocking or interrupting me. Why me as the opponent, when I see a back 3, as this opponent that knows about the cancel advantage on this, that is true labbing, you have to lab of course. I know that I cannot interrupt it, so I have to hold this, unlike the forward to tentacle that has 9 frames for me to interrupt. Got 3 frames, I can't get a jump out, so as you can see, get clipped before the animation even starts and stuff like that. So this makes you understand why certain stuffs jail and others do not jail on block. It's all has to do with the cancel advantage, and it also helps you understand why certain moves combo and others do not combo on hit. It's all about the cancel advantage. So I hope this helps you. But now also you have to count in the active frames while calculating this. As you know, active means how long a move was active before it just gets out of the screen. Now the bloodshot starts up in 23 frames. At this distance it travels 28 frames, as you can see on the active frame, right? At this distance it travels 7 frames. So up close, the bloodshot's here only have 1 active frame, so the startup plus the active is 22 frames, and we know this gives us a hit advantage, a cancel advantage of 23 frames. So it's still gonna jail because it's just 22. But now at certain distances like this, even though you cannot usually duck or flawless it up close, at such a distance, like this, as you can see here, the active plus 21 makes it 24 frames, right? And this gives us just 23. It's just 23 cancel advantage. Like right here is 4 active frames, so you're gonna add the 4 plus 21, making it 25 frame bloodshot. So a 25 frame bloodshot coming off a button of 23 frames, the cancel advantage is not gonna cover it, and I have 2 frames to do what I want to do. So now me as a Liu Kang player defending, okay, first of all, as the Scarlet player offending, you know at this distance it's risky. That is how the knowledge of cancel advantage helps you. While as the Liu Kang player defending, I know at this distance I can now duck the bloodshot. That's if they always fall in habit of the back 3 bloodshot. In this distance I can always duck and get something like that. It also means now I can flawless block it, but I have to be very mindful of the distance because I still have just 2 or maybe 3 little frames to work with, but up close it's a perfect jail. So at different distances, certain moves jail, others do not jail. Just it has to do with the cancel advantage of the string of specials coming off. So now I'll go to Scarlet and explain something with Liu Kang that I know some players understand, but some just feel like it's random, like programming, but it's not. It has to do with cancel advantage. Now that's this high fireballs off strings. Why it jails even though it's high, and why it doesn't jail off some other string, it also has to do with cancel advantage. So now I'm going to use the back 3 string, the 1-2 string, and the forward 4 string. Now his 1-2-3 gives us a cancel advantage of 19 and the fireball is 17. 19, if you subtract 17 from 19, you have 2 frames, right? meaning that you even have extra 2 frames of jailing. So the 1 2 3 into the fireball is a perfect jail. It does not matter whether fireball is a high, it's gonna be a perfect jail, as if I try docking. As you can see, I get clipped because it's a 19 frame cancel advantage into 17 frame special, so I get clipped 1 2 3. So that's why you get clipped trying to dock the 1 2 3 fireball. Why you can dock the other options? You can dock these other options because the cancel advantage of the strings are a lot lower than the 1 2 3, which is 19. As you can see, the back one string gives us a cancel advantage of 12. The fireball is 17 frames, meaning the opponent has 5 frames to do what they want to do. So with a whole 5 frame, I can go for my dock and give and punish 1 2. Okay, you get what I'm trying to say. Like now I can dock it because I have 5 frames. Now from the forward 4 string, let's see, the forward 4 string gives us 14 frames into this, so I have 3 frames to do what I want to do, and I can use that to dock as well. So my knowledge of cancel advantage helps me to understand why I can dock out of the other 2 strings and why I can't dock out of the 1 2 3 straight fireball. So I just hope this helps you to have a general feel for cancel advantage. For those of you that already know about all this, thank you still for watching. For anyone that's unaware of how cancel advantage works, I hope this helps you understand why certain stuff combo, why others do not combo, why certain string of buttons into specials have a gap, why others do not, and I hope it helps you improve at interrupting strings. I also saw this happen in the tournament recently. I'll go to Scarlet real quick for this. I don't want this video to be like too long. So now FCG Abyss interrupted Twigsy's string with Cyber's 9 frame forward 2, right? Yeah, forward 2. So now this is what Twizy did. Twizy did 2-1 tentacle on block. Now 2-1 tentacle on block. Why Abyss was able to interrupt with a 9 frame forward advancing high is because I remember a commentator was like he didn't know like there's a gap there, but this is why that could be interrupted. Now 2-1 gives us a cancel advantage of 13 frames, meaning that any special 13 or below is going to be a perfect jail. But Twizy went for the 2-1 into the tentacle, right? That means a 13 frame cancel advantage into a 26 frame move, means that you have it's 13 frames to work with. The opponent has 13 frames to interrupt you. If you want to count the active frames, you will say 14 frames to work with. That's why knowing this helps me as a Scarlet player to know when to go for the safer options and when the opponent can interrupt me, so I'll know how to play the mind games. While as the one defending, if I see a Scarlet player who's going for the 2-1 tentacle, or you feel they're gonna go for a 2-1, right? So now that I know I have so much frames to interrupt, like 14 frames, I could go for a 10 frame move is gonna work. And why it's good to have something like this as an option select is that now that I know I can always do a down 3 with the king, it covers most options from Scarlet. Now if a Scarlet do is a standalone 2-1 as a way of like trying to hit confirm, if you get hit they go for a combo, the down 3 is still going to check them either way if they stop at 2-1. If they go for the tentacle, it's still going to check them either way. If they go for a blood shot, it's still going to check them either way. So this is a very good option to go into after you see the 2-1. A lot better than just staying there thinking if they're going to stop or do a tentacle, because you know you have 14 frame, there's a 14 frame gap in between. Due to the cancel advantage, you know that you can interrupt or not. So that's all for this video. Thank you all for watching. Stay smooth. See you all later.
Lovely with Razor.